And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the continuation here of the World Team League qualifiers for WTL Winter 2023. We are going to be starting things off, we're going to be continuing the night with Team Rotti versus Mystery Gaming. We just wrapped up with the first series between Team Starcom and the Kwangdong Freaks. And shout out to the Kwangdong Freaks, they are the first team to make it into Code A to meet up with the relegated teams from last season's Code S. So the Kwangdong Freaks, they do make it through. Meanwhile, we're here to bear witness to the second team to make it through, either Team Rotti or Mystery Gaming. Meanwhile, shout out to some lovely people in the chat. Shout out to Kronos, the real Korean, is back for subscribing for 4 months. Thank you, Papi, thank you. Appreciate the support, always appreciate the support, as we can just go over the lineups. Draconics in the chat. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Bienvenidos, bienvenidos, papi. Ese Shelby. Show Rufus. Rufus isn't here today. Asher isn't here today. Unfortunately. Maybe next time. As we switch our scenes over and we have a look at the lineups we have for us tonight, here we go. For Team Rotti versus Mystery Gaming, we have CuKu versus RagnaroK, Game 1 on Babylon. We have Special versus Bunny, Game 1 on Altitude. And HiGhDrA versus Strange, Game 1 on Gressfan. If we go to the ace match, if we go the distance, then it's going to be on Neo Humanity. Oh boy. Again, Mystery Gaming, they are a favorite team, as you can imagine. Kind of like the Kwangdong Freaks, Mystery Gaming, they also have some pretty big names, some pretty hefty Koreans in RagnaroK and Bunny. But can they overcome, can they surpass the Kev that is Rotti? We're here to find out. Let's go, Papi, let's go. As we are getting into this and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Babylon, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing Mystery Gaming. It is RagnaroK. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Romanian Terran player representing Team Rotti. It is CuKu. He's crazy. He's CuKu. Here we go, and already RagnaroK going for something a little bit different. He has been very fond of this in the ZVT matchup. He's going for a 15 hatch opener, 15 if I'm not mistaken. We've been casting a lot of RagnaroK recently in the ESL Open Cup Asia, in the KSLs as well, and RagnaroK has been very fond of this 15 hatch against Terran. I'm pretty sure a big reason for it is that it's his way of being safe against the 2-racks, but CuKu isn't going for a 2-racks opener, so yeah, RagnaroK, he's just going to be going into this hatch pool opener. With this opener, he's going to be able to have faster queens and faster lings. This isn't gasless though. Don't get confused. There is a gasless variation of this where you go for a very fast third base and you don't get your gas until much later, and you actually take 2 gases to make up for it. Dark does this on Neo Humanity. RagnaroK, I believe he won't be going for a fast third. I believe he's just going for a delayed gas geyser, but we'll see. So again, with this build, you just get faster queens, faster lings. Again, just very safe play here from RagnaroK. As we do see CuKu going for his SCV scatter across the map to get a read on what is going on. Because you get a fast spawning pool as well, you can try to go into a rush. But there it is. There is that late gas geyser here. He's not going for a fast third. Again, not like how Dark would do this. Yeah, the SCV does go up the ramp, does see the creepers there, so CuKu is none the wiser. Believes and reads this as a hatch first, which it kind of is. That's the other thing, is that this is kind of like hidden as well, like how fast the spawning pool is going to be here from his opponents, from RagnaroK. Queens are now popping out just in time to deal with the Reaper. Oh! Oof. Oh my god, the Queen comes from the high ground, catching CuKu off guard, and the Reaper will fall. Very nice movement here from RagnaroK. Again, he defended without making any lings. That's like the other advantage of this, is with faster queens, you don't need lings as much. So he's been droning heavily, and already he does shut down the scouting of CuKu. Behind this, CuKu going for a third CC before starport. Very economic here from our Terran player. is going to be going into the starport momentarily. There it is. Starport is now on the way. And yeah, so far the opener from CuKu is looking pretty standard. Meanwhile, RagnaroK, he delays his third base even further here by going straight into a lair, 2-base lair from RagnaroK. He's crazy. Gases are being taken. Is this 2-base Spire? I mean, RagnaroK is a very aggressive player. He's a very aggressive player. He's a little bit cheesy at times. With 3 gases, he can go into a Spire, especially if he takes his 4th, but we can see a fast Roach Warren has been thrown down instead. Okay. RagnaroK, you have my attention. Looking like a Roach Rush. By the time the Roach Warren finishes, he can go straight into Roach Speed. Queens just spreading creep here on the front lines. Third base finally being taken by RagnaroK, but a very late third. And CuKu sees that. He moves in with his Hellions, and he sees how late this base is, and he has to know something is wrong. Something is wrong, something is amiss. He's checking to see if that's a 4th, just to, you know, he's like basically doing a double take. Like, wait, is this really that late? And thankfully, he's making Banshees, of course. Standard opener, Banshees are to be made, and they're going to be great defensively. But for all CuKu knows, this could be 2-base Muta. Like, all 4 gases could have been taken, and he could be in a lot of trouble. If it was Mutas, I mean. So CuKu is just going to chip away at that third hatchery, doing quite a lot of damage to it. Behind this, Roaches are on the way. Looking at the vision, CuKu, he wasn't able to see the Roach Warren, so he's still in the dark as to what is going on. And we have an all-in. Let's go, Bobby. Let's go. The Roaches are about to reveal themselves to the Hellions. Meanwhile, we have Overlord Speed on the way for the Dropper Lords. The Queens are going to be coming across the map alongside the Roaches. RagnaroK is going all in. He's looking to end the game sooner rather than later. And CuKu has no idea. He has no idea what's happening. He wasn't able to check the natural. He didn't check the main base to see how fast the lair was. He's throwing down 4 more racks. His third base is on the way. The all-in has now been spotted. He sees the Dropper Lords. He knows. He's pulling everything back. 3 bunkers are being thrown down. But because everything is in Dropper Lords, he can avoid the natural. He can just go straight into the main. Like RagnaroK, he doesn't have to hit the natural base. And can CuKu defend in time? He does have a tank on the high ground. Hellions and low ground. Marines are on the way. But the tank, we're just going to drop it straight on the tank. It's going to go down. The Overlords can spread creep. We can transfuse. The boys, they have to be pulled. And GG gets called. There is nothing left in the Terran. RagnaroK takes game number 1. GG. Let's go. Let us go. Strong start here for RagnaroK. And again, CuKu, like, everything was looking normal. He had a pretty standard opener, all things considered. It was just the fact that he was kept in the dark. He wasn't able to scout the main, wasn't able to scout the natural. He did see the late third, which should have triggered some alarm bells. But CuKu wasn't able to piece anything else together outside of that. So GG, a strong start for Mystery Gaming. Very strong start, and now we're going to be getting into game number 2. I see someone in the chat asking about Ubu Thermal. If he isn't here, then I imagine he isn't available. I do agree. I do think Thermal is one of the stronger players on Team Rotti right now. I think it's probably like Special and Thermal, the top 2. But if he's not here, he's probably just unavailable, whether he's out somewhere or something else has come up. Unfortunately, he will not be here for his team. Not tonight, at least. Not tonight. But here we go. We're getting into game number 2, and it is, of course, going to be CuKu's map pick. And we're spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Gresfan. Once again, going for the 15 hatch opener. As we've seen in game 1, it is a South Korean Zerg player representing Mystery Gaming. It is RagnaroK. Spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Romanian Terran player representing Team Rotti. It is CuKu. Now, as a reminder for context, this is a qualifying match, and the loser is not eliminated from the tournament. The loser gets knocked down to another qualifying match. They have a second chance. So, my theory is that maybe Euthermal wasn't available today, but if he's available tomorrow, and if Team Rotti do get knocked down, then maybe Euthermal can come in for that final day, for that final qualifying match. It's possible, it's possible. But we're getting ahead of ourselves, because again, that was just the first game, and sure, even though, you know, RagnaroK is, I would say, favored at the moment, he's one of the strongest players in Korea and arguably the world, despite that fact, there are still some other big names on Team Rotti's team tonight. We have Special coming out later on, we have HiGhDrA in the PvP, so, and even here, CuKu can always bring it all back against RagnaroK. It's not unheard of. He does have a chance. He can bring it back. I want to believe he can. I want to believe we can have a more back and forth series that we can go all the way to the ace match. I want to believe. As CuKu's going for an SCV scout. Once again, RagnaroK, he went for a 15-15. 15 hatchery into a 15 spawning pool. Then we have that later gas geyser. Queens are already on the way. And if RagnaroK can get away with it, he will hopefully, or he wants to defend with just pure queen. And of course, he saves his larva for just droning from this point. It is RagnaroK's go-to. If you want some fun facts when it comes to this build from RagnaroK, this opener, I should say, he is literally the only player doing this. RagnaroK, he's very unique, and he does come up with his own builds from time to time. He does come up with his own strategies as well. And we cast a lot of StarCraft on this channel. When it comes to at least the Koreans, I don't know if maybe there's some Europeans out there that do this, but I'm not familiar with anyone else that is really embracing the 15-15 in ZVT specifically, as much as RagnaroK is. We've seen this a lot against Protoss for other reasons. Against Protoss, it means you get your natural waste up and running. Oof, as we do see CuKu take down the first tumor. Very nice pickoff from CuKu. Meanwhile, behind this, RagnaroK is going for a lair, but unlike game one, CuKu, he hasn't lost his Reaper, so CuKu has potential to scout this. He has his Reaper alive, did take some hits, but he is now topped up, full of energy. He's dipping into the natural base. He's looking to go behind the mineral line, and he could, he's not going for the main. Not going for the main base, not yet. We can always rotate around towards this Reaper cliff to get a read on what's happening. We do have all four gases. This time it is looking like 2-base Spire. It is looking like 2-base Muta. Meanwhile, CuKu going for a third CC before Starport. Very economic opener once again from CuKu. This time going for a Viking first and not going for the add-on swap. Okay, so CuKu is mixing things up. Going for a Cyclone. Oh my god. So as much as I want to focus on RagnaroK and all the crazy stuff that he's doing, and we should be seeing a Spire momentarily, there it is. Spire is on the way for 2-base Muta. Meanwhile, the Reaper is trying to dive into the main base, and it looks like it will get a scout off. Queens are not in position, and the Reaper does spot the Spire. Very important scout for CuKu. Unlike game one, this time CuKu knows exactly what's going on. Back at home, again, really interesting stuff here, that he didn't go for the add-on swap, that he kept the reactor, sorry, he kept the tech lab on the factory. We already have a Cyclone, we have Vikings on the way. This is almost looking like a TVP build. Scout is going to be denied. We have more Cyclones on the way, and additional Raxes behind this. I don't know how I feel about this this opener from CuKu. So I'm really torn. He's prioritizing Cyclones right now, which is okay, but because he's prioritizing Cyclones, he doesn't have a Rax on the tech lab, which means he's gonna have a really delayed stim. There's very delayed stim here to try to keep up with the mutas of RagnaroK. On top of that, we have delayed medevac production as well because we're pumping out Vikings. So yeah, really interesting build order here from CuKu, and an interesting reaction as well. Now we're going to be refining these add-ons, and now we're going to start working on stim. But yeah, really interesting. Here we go. As mutas are on the way. Wings just constantly scouting the army. RagnaroK, he does see the Cyclones as well as the Vipers, the Vikings. RagnaroK, he gets eyes on all of this. The mutas have at the field. How many mutas do we have? We have 8 mutas in total. Well, lock on does connect with one of those mutas. Two of those mutas even. Taking a lot of hits. The mutas, they rotate over into the main. One muta already goes down. So far. Oh my god, can he get another? He will. Two mutas, 200 gas down the drain for nothing. So far, CuKu is looking solid. And these mutas, they have not paid for themselves. He got like, what, one? He got, yeah, he hasn't killed anything other than the Reaper. Another lock on, another muta, 300 gas down the drain. This opener from RagnaroK is not really working out whatsoever. This 2-base muta just hasn't done much of anything. As the mutas are being bullied back. Behind this, we're getting into 1-1. We're getting into our fourth hatchery. But to commit this hard to mutas and for them not to gain any value is a really brutal thing to see. Now, RagnaroK, he isn't out of this, but so far a really solid hold here from CuKu. Really solid play. Now, obviously there are downsides to this. We mentioned it earlier, like Stim is delayed, Medevacs are delayed. Like there's other downsides to what CuKu is doing here, but defensively, right now at least, he's holding on. He's looking good. Now, what RagnaroK does have is map control. Now, because RagnaroK is keeping his opponent back at home, because there's no stim, because there's a delayed stim, I should say, it means that RagnaroK, he is free to drone, and he's going to be able to drone up past 80. So these mutas are still giving him a lot of freedom. They're still giving him a lot of room to breathe, and he's spreading creep all over the map, and he's keeping the army busy. We do have a trapping laid, oh my god, with those mines. RagnaroK does have to be very careful with that. But as he drones up, as he gets up to 82 workers, now we have an infestation bit on the way. Hive is going to be on the way as well. We can get into ultras. We can get into vipers. So even though CuKu is looking solid defensively, RagnaroK, he's kind of getting away with a lot of greed behind this. And the muta count is getting higher and higher. We are up to 18 mutas. We are looking to hit critical mass. Oh, I really love this. We are now stopping muta production and we're getting into HiGhDRAs. This is for lurkers. This is for a transition into lurkers. One of those Widow Mines already going to be going down. Mutas, they head into the main base. They take down the turrets. Again, we're just keeping the army of CuKu busy while RagnaroK is taking up into a hive. Infestation bit is now done. Hive is on the way. We should be seeing a lurker den soon as well. As RagnaroK is maxing out on Muta Lingbane. There it is. Lurker den is on the way. So because this RagnaroK, he wants to get rid of these mutas. He wants to get rid of the mutas and replace them with HiGhDRAs, replace them with lurkers. He can't just throw them away though. He has to slowly transition out of this. So here we go. He's looking for another way in. Keeping CuKu contained on 4 bases. Picking apart the Widow Mines left and right. And here we go. The Lingbane is rolling on in. The Widow Mines. Oh, big connections. A lot of Banelings do go down. Oh, but RagnaroK, he is not done. Once again. Oh my god. A lot of Banelings go down to the mine shots. The Marines, they stand strong. They push out. Meanwhile, behind this, RagnaroK, he's still just remaxing on purelings. It's too early to go into those lurkers. The lurker den just finished. But we're still working on upgrades. As we're coming in from a flank and big Baneling connections on the Marines. And we have 30 more Banelings on the way. CuKu pushing deep onto creep, but he's going to get surrounded. The Banelings, they come in from behind. We completely swallow up the Terran army. And just like that, CuKu, he plummets in supply. He was baited into pushing onto creep. It was just a little bit too cavalier, too adventurous of CuKu to push out like that. He was getting good mine shots, but that wasn't a green light to push out. And here we go. We can see RagnaroK getting out of control, getting on top of the production, on top of the reinforcements. Third base is going to be forfeit. And the mineral line is going to be going down. Again, CuKu was just a little bit too adventurous. He, yeah, just got a little bit too excited after trading well initially. And it was a good trade, right? It's like he was getting a lot of really good mine shots. He was shaving off a lot of Ling Bane. A lot of the Ling Bane. And as a result, he was punished for it. And now we have Lurker range on the way. We have +1 range, +3 carapace. That transition into Lurkers, it's getting closer and closer. And both players were maxed at one point. Now CuKu down in supply. He has to rebuild, remax, lick his wounds. Bring himself back into this. He's even making Thors as well. It looks like he's convinced that we are going to be committing to mutas. Another big mine shot. Not bad. Again, CuKu can still take a good fight, especially if RagnaroK overextends. Oh, nice on burrow on those Widow Mines as well. Oh, but the other shot does not go off. Ling Bane once again rolling on in. And RagnaroK will just back off. And there it is. HiGhDrA's. HiGhDrA's on the way. RagnaroK is now ready to transition into Lurkers. There's Adaptive Talons. +1 about to kick in. Mutas, a dive on forward. They magic box on top of the Thor. And the Thor is going to go down. Oh, just barely. There are a lot of Marauders. Honestly, if RagnaroK wanted to keep making mutas, he could. I don't think it would be bad to just stay on Ling Bane muta. But the reality is that it's risky because of these Widow Mines and Lurkers. They do so well against a mine-based composition. There it is. Contamination on the Raxes. Oh my god. RagnaroK. Calm down. Something you don't see too often, but alas, Ghost production is going to be delayed. Ghosts are going to be important though. Again, they do well against anything Hive Tech, whether it's Broodlords or Ultras or Lurkers. Ghosts are exactly what you want. But here we go. It's too late because the Lurkers, they have arrived. They're going to wedge themselves between the bases. Massive spine shots are going to be going off. Oh my god! SCVs do barely escape. They are battered. They are bruised. Third base is going to be forfeit. And RagnaroK is just edging ever closer here. Even laying siege upon that center base as well. Denying so much mining. Keeping CuKu on a 3-base economy as he is forced to just oversaturate his now new third base. Here we go. We're getting some decent snipes off, but the Ling Bane is rolling on in. We do have a lot of Marauders, but we go for the Planetary. We go straight for the Planetary. We're going for the Ghosts. Ah, the Ghosts are trying to escape. One will survive. We can see that RagnaroK is running out of steam a little bit here, but it's been an efficient trade nonetheless. Oh my god, the Ghosts! The Ghosts are going down as well to the mutas, to the Lurkers. And even though CuKu cleans up the army, I mean, RagnaroK, he has 93 workers. He has an untouched economy. CuKu has been contained this entire game. Big mine shot goes off. But we need more than just one mine shot. We need more than that. GG gets called, and RagnaroK will take down CuKu 2-0. GG. Ooh. In a pretty interesting fashion. Again, really interesting games, both game 1 and game 2. Game 1 was a big all-in with roaches, and it was a 2-base all-in with roaches and roaches and queens. Game number 2, 2-base muta, giving RagnaroK a lot of map control. Really, that's all he got. Remember, the mutas, they didn't really do too much economic damage, but they forced CuKu's build to be a little bit delayed. They delayed stim and medevacs and all that stuff, and that meant that CuKu was stuck at home, stuck on 3 bases, on 4 bases. We saw CuKu trade well, don't get me wrong, but it did feel like, I mean, CuKu did overextend. He did overextend after he got a couple of good mine shots. Pushed deep onto creep, got swallowed up, and from that moment, CuKu was on the back foot. He was on the back foot, and RagnaroK just had full map control the entire time. GG, well played. And with that, that is a strong start. A very strong start for Mystery Gaming. But just because they have a strong start doesn't mean that Team Rotti cannot make it out of this. As we do switch our scenes over, again, we have some other players that can definitely go toe-to-toe with Mystery Gaming. Up next, Special versus Bunny. Let's go. And Special, he is known as a TVT sniper. You know, it's a Special. He is pretty damn good at the TVT matchup. So even though I would probably say that Bunny is a better, well-rounded player, I do think that overall Bunny is probably favored. But specifically in the TVT matchup, suddenly it's a lot closer. It's a lot closer skill-wise between these two players. And I do want to... Do I want to favor Special here? I know that Special can take a game. I know 100% he can take one game. Can he 2-0 Bunny? Can he go that far? Can he take down Bunny 2-0? That's I'm a little bit more uncertain about that, but it's possible. It is possible. He can pull it off. He can bring it back for his team. Special is the ace. He's the ace player for Team Rotti. He can do it. He can pull it off. I want to believe. I want a longer series. I want more games, Papi. I want more games. See, shout out to Asher in the chat. Yeah, as we were talking about, like the site. Yeah, exactly, right. Like we were bringing up how like Stim is delayed, like the medevacs are delayed, like map control is delayed, like going for prioritizing Vikings and Cyclones. It did provide for a solid initial hold, but as we saw, like he was stuck. He was stuck at home, right? He couldn't be active on the map. He couldn't do anything. Couldn't do anything on the map and just gave so much freedom to RagnaroK. Oh, GG. GG, well played. Okay. As we are just remaking the lobby. And we're catching up on the chat, Papi. Catching up. Alright, well here we go. We are getting into our next game. Just going to be remaking the lobby here. Just making sure that the servers are on point. Making sure. Six games minimum. If it's 4-0. Yeah, just letting the chat know here as well that if it's a 4-0, then HiGhDrA won't play. It's first of 4 wins, you know, standard best of 7. They don't play out the next games, which is kind of what we saw earlier. As we are getting ready for this TVT. Beautiful. I was worried that I was gonna have to play against Bunny. I was concerned, Papi. I was concerned. But here we go. We are getting into our next matchup. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Altitude, we have the South Korean Terran player representing Mystery Gaming as a lead of the series 2-0. It is Bunny. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Mexican Terran player looking to fight back for his team. It is Special. letting them know as well. Yes. If the teams want to, they can play out all the games. It won't affect the score. It won't affect anything. But yeah, it's up to the teams. That did happen yesterday as well, where we were casting extra games, even though we didn't need to. Yeah, it's up to the players at the end of the day. So it's possible. Technically true. We could still cast everything if both players are keen, if they're keen to play. Here we go. As we get into this, we do see Bunny going for a Rax Expand, very economic opener. On Altitude, it makes sense. Altitude is the largest map in the map pool, so you're pretty safe to go for these economic openers. Likewise, we're seeing the same thing from Special, going for a Rax Expand. On smaller maps, it's a lot more common to go for double gas openers and go for faster factories and, you know, additional Reaper production and Hellion production and all that stuff and early game aggression. But on Altitude, we can see that both players are respecting each other, respecting the map, and yeah, being economic. There it is. CC on location for both players. Here we go. Behind this, we have said factories on the way. And interesting, okay, so Bunny is actually going to be getting a faster second gas. Meanwhile, Special going to be foregoing that faster second gas for a faster factory instead. So the builds themselves are actually changing a little bit here between our players. So there's a bit of variation. Not too much, but some nonetheless. Meanwhile, bold move from Bunny does go for a Reaper scatter across the map. Takes a shot to the face though, so Bunny has to back off. And Special does maintain control of his natural base. Does maintain control. Behind this, Special going into his 1-1-1 setup. Likewise, Bunny shouldn't be too far behind here, as Bunny is going for his reactor first. Oh, meanwhile, he's going to be diving on forward here. Bunny did make additional Reapers. It was able to take down the Reaper of Special. Wreak a little bit of havoc, but not too much. He does get eyes on the Marines, so he has a better idea of what Special is up to. As we should be seeing an add-on swap momentarily as well. Likewise, Special gets across the map, and oh my god, he gets more than one. He gets 2 SCVs. He wants the third. He wants it. Won't get it in the end, but some nice damage, and he gets a scout of the main base. He catches wind of how late the starport is of his opponent as well. We are continuing Marine production for the time being. And interesting, I assumed that we would be going for a Raven, but no, Special is going for a Banshee first. He's committing to Banshee production by going for Cloak. Okay. We have Cloak on the way for Special as Marines in position at the cliff. He has Hellions here on the low ground as well. Special looking to deny any kind of scouting. Mine is burrowed, and Bunny is forced back. Do love to see it. Again, we have been seeing these Banshee openers in this matchup. I wonder, is he going to go full TY? Okay, yeah, let's go. Okay, so the last time we saw TY on Altitude in a TVT, he also played this very aggressive form, or very unique form of mech. And if TY is doing it, Special's going to be doing it as well. Where TY actually invested into Hyperflight Rotors as well. He goes for double starport Banshee production, and he, of course, goes into mech behind it. Meanwhile, Bunny, everything's looking a little bit more normal. He's going for a Raven opener. He's got some safety cyclones on the way, and he's going for a third CC, a much faster third CC here. Special not too far behind with his own, to be fair. It's not too far behind. And there we go. There's that second factory. So it is mech. It is mech, and I'm pretty sure we are making more Banshees. Oh, let's go. Let's go, Bobby. Macfill Accelerators is on the way. Banshee does come in from behind. Is going to get a couple of SCVs. 3 SCVs in total. The Ravens are going to be able to keep up. All the turrets are thrown down, but the Banshee is able to barely escape. 4 SCVs and a scout as well. Again, Special should be reading that it's going to be bioplay from Bunny or biotank. Meanwhile, Special, there is Hyperflight Rotors. Again, this is exactly what TY was doing. I love it. If you're wondering, TY was doing this in GSL. And I believe the VODs are on our Twitch. VODs are soon to be on our YouTube. We did cast it over on our channel. And yeah, it's like this Banshee battle mech, but in TVT. Here we go. SCVs are going down left and right. We do have a scan. Can the Banshee escape? It looks like there's a Raven over towards the north, so the Banshee will fall, but not before getting 5 workers. We can see Bunny trying to trap this Banshee, and it looks like he will get it as Vikings have hit the field. Now, this is the downside. We saw Maru defeat TY. I think it was on altitude as well. That's massive mine shot's going to be going off. But Buddy's getting into Viking production, and Vikings are going to shut this down so hard. Thankfully, Special is incorporating Cyclones. If you remember, I believe TY, he went Banshees with tanks instead, and he had nothing that showed up, and Vikings really punished TY very hard. As Maru, he went Vikings into BCs. But Special is going to be able to support his Banshees with Cyclones, so he will be able to have an answer for the Vikings, and he's going to be able to support his Banshees in some way as he's continuing Banshee production. Cyclones rotating around, looking for another way in towards that third. It's going to take a couple of tank volleys to the face, but he does trade a Cyclone for a tank. Probably a better trade for Special. Scan into the main. Just confirms the factories. It does confirm as well that the starport is still producing. So Bunny knows to continue making Vikings at least. Or to make sure he has at least some Vikings to deal with those Banshees. Behind this, we have Liberator production on the way. Another Banshee does dive into the main. Special has to be careful not to be too wasteful. Jesus, that's a very fast Banshee. No! Does get cornered once again. Another Banshee is going to fall to the Vikings. And the Ravens, again, really good foresight or positioning for Bunny to just keep his Vikings and Ravens in his mineral lines. And this is becoming a little bit wasteful. We've already lost 4 Banshees, and yeah, Hyperflight Rotors hasn't really come into play. It hasn't really been worth it for Special. Feels bad, man. And he's still going. He's still making more Banshees. He isn't going to Port Banshee. He's not going that far, but we'll see how hard he does commit as he just throws down 2 more factories. He's continuing Cyclones. He's now going, I think, into tanks momentarily as well. Yeah, there we go. Special is now getting into tank production. Make sure he has a solid foundation back at home. Banshees, they do get a free tank. Vikings were not ready for it. They were busy in the mineral lines, so very well done, forcing Bunny to throw down some turrets. Of course, aware that more Banshees are on the way. The Banshees, they dive into the natural base. They delay the turret as well. Not too bad. 4 SCVs do go down. We can see Bunny on the hunt, looking to intercept it. He does catch another Banshee. Oof. Only 1 is left. Behind this, Special is going into Viking production. He's shifting gears out of Banshees, which is probably a good thing. And Bunny's going to be pushing through the center. Again, and now he's kind of weathered the storm, weathered the Banshees of Special. He's got a pretty hefty bio army. He's got 1-1. Stim, combat shields, concussive shell. Pushing through the center, and do we have any tanks in position? We do have 3 tanks. Special will be the first to siege. Oof. Tank volleys are going to be going off, but the bio army does get on top of the tanks of Special. This may just be too much. He doesn't have enough to protect them, and the tanks are falling one after the other. Only 1 tank survives. We don't go for the natural. It looks like it's still going to be going down, but Bunny, he diverts his attention over towards the 3rd base instead. And the 3rd is going to fall. Bunny snowballing out of control. Again, it was a delicate dance for Special. GG gets called, and Bunny takes game number 1. GG. It's crazy. GG, well played. I appreciate that Special was doing something different. That's what I appreciate. I appreciate that we saw something a little bit different out of Special. Something that we've seen some like glimmers of when it comes to TY's TVT. Unfortunately, we saw that the Banshees, initially they were doing some damage. Don't get me wrong. Initially they were popping off. But afterwards, not so much. afterwards, not so much, as they just kind of... Yeah, we saw some diminishing returns with those Banshees. Likewise, because Special was losing a lot of his Cyclones and Hellions on the map, he didn't quite have enough to like support his tanks. We saw the bio army of Bunny just bust on through, break on forward, and just get on top of the tanks of Special. Just didn't have enough to protect them, didn't have enough to support them. Arguably also not in position in time as well. And yeah, with that, Bunny does take the first game. And now we do see that we are on match point. Bunny needs one more game. He needs one more game here to win the entire thing for Mystery Gaming. Special needs to win the next game here and now to force the next series to force, or to give HiGhDrA a chance to go up against Strange in that third best of 2. The pressure is on Special. The pressure is on Team Rotti. Again, Mystery Gaming, they did come in as the favored team. They're a pretty terrifying team to go up against. I want to believe that Special can do it, can bring it back. But we'll see. It is going to be Special's map pick. So Special is just kind of deliberating. He's trying to decide where he wants this to play out, what kind of map he wants to go on, how he wants to approach this. And we'll see. We shall see. As the players, they're just trying to figure out their servers. For those wondering, I believe Special is no longer living in Korea. He used to, but I believe he's currently back in Mexico. He's back in Mexico, in his home country. So the players are just trying to figure out what servers they're going to be playing on. I know there's like a grid, there's like a list of server rules for Korea versus Latin America. I wonder if I can find it. Where is it? Is it pinned in Discord? Right there. I don't know where it is. Oh, as we do have another lobby being made. Hopefully I can make it in. There we go. So we are getting into our next game. Beautiful. And it is going to be Special's map of choice. It is going to be Neo-Humanity. There we go. Beautiful. Oh. Here we go. Yeah, just sorting out all the server rules, all that good stuff. It is going to be on US West between our two lovely players. And yeah, our next game is going to be on Neo-Humanity. That is going to be Special's map pick. Let's wondering, we go a pretty stark contrast here from game one. Game one was in the largest map. Game two, one of the smaller, or the smallest actually. Here we go. And And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Neo Humanity, we have the Mexican Terran player representing Team Rotti. He is the red Terran. He's looking to bring him back here and now. It is Special. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player representing Mystery Gaming. One game away here for making it for his team, qualifying for Code A of WTL. It is Bunny. Here we go. And Special, oh, let's go, is going to be kicking things off with a proxy, a very interesting proxy. Okay, so yes, there is a Rax. He's taking a gas behind this, but it's only a singular Rax. So this is looking like a proxy Rax into a proxy factory. Do we make the factory across the map or back home? Is this only a singular proxy Rax, or are we committing a little bit harder to this? It is Special, and Special does have a lot of special builds. So I'm curious. I'm very curious as to where the factory is going to be thrown down. Oh, wait, no, sorry, this is Proxy Marauder, right? Yeah, right, Proxy Tech Lab? Gib. No, okay, we're going into Reapers, and it's only the singular proxy Rax. Okay, never mind. So not very committed. Not very committed here from Special. He's not going to throw down his factory across the map. It is going to be back at home instead. We just be chilling. We're calming down here. Now, this does mean that he can have a moment where he can maybe surprise Bunny, especially if the Reaper does move out across the map and it does overextend. Special can take advantage of Bunny here. There is a chance he does have that SCV to tank a shot as well. He does tank the shots, and with that Special, he's going to be able to shut down the first Reaper. Ooh, does bring it down. A big pick off here for Special. And just like that, he has a Reaper advantage. He has a second Reaper on the way. It's going to be arriving, and Special, even looking to delay the factory, doesn't quite get the delay, does get an SCV, as he does back off. Behind this, Bunny getting a CC on the high ground on location. He has to be very careful here. He has to keep an SCV on the front lines as well to make sure he doesn't, lose too much too quickly. Good grenade. Special busts up into the main base. The Hellion has arrived. With the arrival of the Hellion, it looks like Bunny will defend. He will force Special back. Behind this, Proxy Starport. So, Proxy Rax into a factory back at home, into a Starport. Love to see it. Behind this, we're going for a Cyclone, and this is going to be for a Proxy Liberator, I imagine. We could go for a Proxy Medevac, but there's nothing to drop into the main. Meanwhile, ooh, Special is going to be losing all of his units here across the map. His Rax is going to delay the expansion. And there it is. There is the Liberator on the way. So we have a Liberator to harass the main base. We're going to have a Cyclone to apply pressure to the natural. Special is going to try and bring this all together. But Bunny has been able to recover, especially because Special lost his Reapers. Bunny is looking in a pretty good position right now. Oh, good. Loco does take down the Hellion. Very good pick off here for Special. As he takes down a Hellion, takes down an SCV as well. But Bunny going to be landing his CC next to the Rax. You love to see it. I imagine going to be morphing in that orbital. And the Liberator is about to siege up in the main. Special trying to get a lock on, but it looks like Bunny is going to be the first to hit, and he does take down that Cyclone. At the same time, Liberator is wreaking havoc in the main base, doing a lot of damage. 6 SCVs go down. Bunny far behind in the economy. And Special, he's making Marines in his natural, in the face of Bunny. This is getting a bit out of hand. But a good lock on once again. Bunny, he shuts down the Cyclone. We have another Liberator, or the same Liberator, coming back into the main base, getting 9 SCV kills. And Special is just taking a third base behind this, taking a very fast third. Amidst all this chaos, Special, he's ahead in workers, he's ahead in economy, and he's looking to get further ahead. Oof. Big lock on that Cyclone. Special, he's so close to just breaking Bunny here and now as well. But finally, finally this Rax is going to be taken out. Oh God, another Liberator gets into the main. Bunny, he is hurting. He's hurting heavily here in his economy. Yeah, the boys have to be pulled. This Cyclone very low. But now we have a second Cyclone. Second Cyclone for both. Up. The scan takes one down. Oh my God, Special just getting so much value out of these so few units. GG gets called. Bunny too far behind. And Special does tie it up 1-1. He does put a point on the board. GG. Oh my God. Every single time Special, I mean, I say every time, it was the Liberator. The Liberator did game-ending damage to Bunny, and Special, he was just so aggressive with like 1 or 2 Cyclones here and there, just snowballing out of control, never allowing Bunny to get a substantial amount of units out. And it was just too much too quickly. Special, he didn't even need a third base behind it, but he did have a third base on the way behind it as well. And Special just getting too far ahead. GG, well played. We have a series. We have a series on our hands. Special does bring it back. And, oh, just like that, we are switching servers to Europe. Here we go. Special, he does keep hope alive. Hope for Team Rotti. Hopefully they don't start without me. I have to very quickly start the, I have to very quickly load into Europe. But our next series, up next here, for potentially an insane comeback from Team Rotti, we have HiGhDrA versus Strange in a PvP. Here we go. The PvPs are upon us, and I would still favor Strange. I do think that Strange is still the stronger player, but because it's a PvP, I want to believe that HiGhDrA has something special in store for us and is going to be able to overcome Strange and fight back for his team. There's definitely a chance. There is definitely a chance. Ooh, as again, they are still up against the wall. Just trying to log into Europe. Hopefully I can. Okay, there we go. Phew, we're good. We've arrived. It's okay, it's okay. We have arrived. But again, just for context, just to bring it all into perspective, Mystery Gaming, they still need one more. Strange still needs one more win here to bring it home for his team. Team Rotti need 2. They need HiGhDrA to do 0. 1 game is not enough. They need 2 games here to go all the way to the ace match, where we could see potentially Special versus RagnaroK. I wouldn't be surprised if RagnaroK was the ace player for Mystery Gaming. From Team Rotti, it would have to be Special. Unless they had like Uthermo in the back line, like watching from afar. So we are getting ready for our next game. Ooh. Here we go. As we saw as well, the map is going to be on Gresvan. Remember, it's loser's pick, so after Gresvan, if HiGhDrA were to win, it would be Strange's map of choice. Would be up to Strange. Yeah, the Vax was the MVP, just continuing to pump out Marines in the face of his opponents, of Bunny. Those Marines, that, like, every time they would come in, they would get like a couple of hits off on the Cyclone, and that was enough for it to go down eventually to the Cyclones of Special. God, it was very intense, a very intense game. Kib game 7. Kib, Bobby, Kib. Here we go. It all comes down to this final best of two. Quickly checking, do we have any other updates on some of the other series going on right now? It looks like we do. So, currently, over on the other language streams, they are casting Twisted Minds versus Little Fairy. Little Fairy, they are looking strong. Coffee 2-0'd Aristary, and Forjumi is up versus Young Yakov. So Twisted Minds are having a bit of a harder time. For those wondering, Twisted Minds is Classics team, and I was really surprised to see which players Twisted Minds picked up. They picked up some European players. They didn't go for any other Koreans, which was shocking because Gumiho is still teamless. Kiora is still teamless. Like, there are a lot of who else is from Abydos? DRG is still teamless. There are a lot of like big Korean names that are available. I was hoping that Twisted Minds would go for some of them, but they opted not to. Did opt not to, but here we go. We're getting into our next game. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Gressfarm, we have the red Protoss player representing Mystery Gaming. It is Strange. One game is all he needs. Meanwhile, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Gressfarm, we have the Croatian. Not Croatian. Very similar flag from the land of the Netherlands. My apologies. We have the blue Protoss player representing Team Rotti. It is HiGhDrA. There we go. HiGhDrA versus Strange in this PvP. Again, the pressure is on HiGhDrA. He needs to win this game and the next to force the ace match for his team to try to qualify for Code A of WTL. Can he pull it off? So far, so good. We have mirrored builds, 2-gate opener all around, as to be expected. We are on Gressfarm, which does not have a ramp coming into the natural, so these 2-gate openers are very standard in PvPs as a result of that. There are some wild Protoss players out there like MaxPax who is willing to go for gate expands on Gressfarm, but it's only MaxPax that does that. You know, he's crazy like that. It's crazy. As both players are going to be scouting each other with their probes, making sure everything is on the up and up. And they're going to be looking to see if a pylon is missing, more importantly. And here we go. We have both pylons in the main for Strange. We have both pylons in the main for HiGhDrA as well. So they're both feeling pretty safe that there is nothing being proxied. And we have our two units of choice. HiGhDrA is going for a double Stalker, which is very solid opener. It can gain map control and can even be a little bit aggressive, especially if we go for 2 more Stalkers behind this. Meanwhile, Strange is looking for economic damage. He goes for 2 Adepts instead. Now, these Adepts, they're going to be looking to bypass these Stalkers, go the long way around the map, avoid the Stalkers entirely, and look for some economic damage. Meanwhile, HiGhDrA throws down a pylon. This pylon is going to give HiGhDrA vision, and he does scout and confirm the first 2 units. Likewise, Strange across the map does get shooed away by the Stalkers, does take 1 shot to the face, and was able to confirm the Stalker opener of his opponent. Behind this, 2 more Adepts. So Strange, he's doubling down. He can go up to 6 Adepts if he wants to. With a higher Adept count, he can actually kill these Stalkers. He can actually pounce on top of this army as HiGhDrA, oh my god, is going for a 1 base all-in. We have a 1 base all-in from Team Rotti. We have a Robo. We have a 3rd gateway on the way. He is not expanding whatsoever. Meanwhile, Strange doesn't know. He is in the dark right now. He's being active with his Adepts, but he does get caught out by the Stalker. He has been found out. We can see HiGhDrA pushing on forward, looking to keep up. The Shade of the Adept does confirm the base is missing. And that's enough. That's enough for Strange right now. He's pulling back home. We need some shield batteries. He's still making Adepts. He's going for a defensive Robo, which is a good call. He's going for a shield battery in the main base. Again, he doesn't really know what his opponent's doing. Doesn't know how committed HiGhDrA is. As we have a War Prism on the way, additional Stalkers as well. Now, in a head-to-head fight, I want to say that HiGhDrA has a better army. If he brings everything together, I think he does win out. Especially on the map. This is a risky move from Strange. Again, his opponent is still on 1 base. Strange is exposing himself by moving out like this. But here we go. The Adepts have been spotted. He's going to be diving on this army. We do have a hot pickup. Good micro out of HiGhDrA. He basically has Blink and he's going to shut down these Adepts. This was a massive mistake from Strange to be active like this. It was a risky move. a risky move that is not going to pay off. He bleeds out 2 of these adepts. He has to race back home. Again, his opponent is all in. More stalkers are on the way. We have 1 shield battery. We have a 2nd shield battery being thrown down. We have energy for force fields, and we have an immortal coming out. Force fields are buying some time, but the shield battery is going to get targeted down. Oof. One after another. Sentries are falling. We do have an immortal. And the immortal is going to pack quite a punch against this army. Boys are being pulled. A shield battery does finish. We do have an overcharge. And there it is. Overcharge is popped. Can we keep the immortal alive? Up! Up! Is it enough? It does tank a lot of shots, but the immortal goes down. We warp in some zealots, and HiGhDrA has done it. He busts into the main. He's camping the production. If he can get on top of this immortal, he can end the game. 2nd immortal is on the way. Boys are being pulled once again. Strange, he can afford to lose some workers. The immortal comes out. The immortal has arrived, and again is doing a lot of damage. He's trying to focus down those stalkers. Good force field as well. And HiGhDrA is being forced out of the main base. And this is not looking good for Team Rotti. I mean, he is up in probes. To be fair, he's actually pretty far ahead in workers. he killed a lot of workers. But Strange, he can make 2 probes at a time. He's got another immortal on the way. Strange is holding, and HiGhDrA is not expanding. He's doubling down, going for 1 base disruptors. This is a late transition. This is a Hail Mary play from HiGhDrA. The longer this goes on, the better it is for Strange. He's got 2 shield batteries on the low ground. He doesn't see. Oh no, Strange doesn't have vision. The army rocks up in the main base, takes down an immortal. Oh, the overcharge though keeps it alive. The immortal somehow survives. 2nd immortal is pulled back as well. And HiGhDrA is forced out of the main base. That was a really cheeky move, especially because Strange did not have vision of this area. But it just was not enough. Meanwhile, there's that disruptor. It's on the way. Now, even though things are looking dire for HiGhDrA, if he gets 1 good Nova, he can win the game. 1 good Nova, if he takes down like 3-4 sentries, if he takes down the immortal, this could swing things in his favor. Victory is not out of his reach. Not yet. But here we go. We have a defensive war prism on the way for Strange, which means suddenly if we do have a disruptor, if a Nova goes off, Strange has the ability to micro against it. He's going to be able to juggle, pick up units, and avoid that purification Nova. Very important here that Strange did get this prism out. Hallucination confirms, still 1 base all in. Very important scout from Strange. He now knows that he still needs more shield batteries, more cannons. Oh, not cannons, but shield batteries, more immortals. There we go, 3rd immortal is on the way. He has to be very careful with how he maneuvers. Like, he doesn't need a 3rd base. He's here to try to catch the army, but again, a risky move nonetheless. Disruptors have arrived. Nova goes up. Big connection. 3 sentries go down. This prism needed to be farther forward. Bit of a mistake from Strange, and this is why I was really concerned about him being that far out. HiGhDrA can still pull this off. He's up in army supply, up in stalkers. We have another disruptor raring to go. Immortals are being saved. Where's that Nova? There it is. Nova does go off once again, connecting with some units. Takes down an adept. Not the biggest connection, but connection nonetheless. Prism is on cooldown. Strange taking this slow, making more immortals. The prism is going to go down. Strange overextending. Loses the prism, is going to lose another immortal as well. Overcharge was 1 second too late. Nova goes off. Big connection once again. HiGhDrA fumbling the ball a little bit here in the defense. Again, HiGhDrA is still in this. Even with 1 disruptor, clearly it is enough. And he has another disruptor on the way. Unfortunately, that 2nd disruptor is stuck in the main because can't quite get out of the main base. Good force fields. Immortal's going to go down. There is no prism to juggle. Another Nova goes off as well, and it will not go up. Good target firing this time out of Strange. He takes down that Disruptor just in time. And now Strange takes an economic lead. He has been making 2 workers at a time. Earlier, he was at a deficit, and now he's at a lead. Strange, he's backing off. He's reinforcing here with 2 more Disruptors. Still 1 base all in, by the way. It's been 10 minutes, and the 1 base all in is still going strong. It's still close. Still very close. But now we have a Twilight Council on the way. Oh, this could even be for DTs. Ah, there is detection. Not anymore. Up. Who's going to lose it? Observer gets sniped. HiGhDrA no longer has detection. DTs are an option, especially defensively. But here we go. Disruptors are coming in. Adepts are going for some harass. Does Strange have enough to defend? Another Nova goes off, and it will connect once again with... Ooh. One connects, the other does not. Boys have been pulled. Oh my god. HiGhDrA doubling down. Oh my god. No! A massive connection on all 3 Immortals. 1 Immortal survives. Ay. Strange. He can't split. It's his bones. They're too fragile. It's not about splitting though, it's about taking a good fight. Big Nova on some workers. Strange, he's not the most flexible of players. It's fine. You don't look, it's fine. You don't need to be flexible though when you have a good economy, when you have a good macro behind this. We don't need a split. Know where we're going. There we go. Once again, force fielding off 1 of those Immortals. Big Nova taking down 3 Stalkers as well. And it overcharges on cooldown. Remember that. It looks like HiGhDrA has enough. He's up 10 supply. He's up in Stalkers. Another Immortal comes down. This is still very close. Like, Immortals do make up for the supply deficit the Strange has. Once again, forces. Once again, we're focusing on the Immortal. Overcharge barely keeping it alive. Nova goes off. This time we split. This time we avoid the Nova. And it looks like Strange has done it. He holds, Papi. He holds. And not just that. Blink is on the way, Papi. Blink is on the way, which means we can avoid the Novas. We won't take them to the face. Not anymore. It's been so close. It has been so close, yet so far. Disruptor is going to get targeted down, and Strange does it. GG gets called. He survives 12 minutes, almost 13 minutes of a 1 base all in, and Strange does it for his team. He does it for Mystery Gaming. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to Strange. Congratulations to Mystery Gaming. That was closer than it should have been. That was... Oh, my heart. GG. Well played. The heart... I need to calm down. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. And we are gonna play... We are gonna play out the last game. Again, Mystery Gaming have done it, but the players have agreed. They will play out that final game here. It is HiGhDrA's map of choice. Let's see if he can put a point on the board for himself and for his team as we load in to Ancient Cistern. Oh, let's go. Let us go. Catching up with the chat. The boss, Papi. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner. The bottom left-hand corner of Ancient Cistern. We have the red Protoss player representing Mystery Gaming. It is Strange. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have from the land of the Netherlands, the blue Protoss player. For Team Rotti, it is HiGhDrA. Oh my god. That was a wild game. That was crazy. And the reality is that HiGhDrA almost pulled it off. Even though his one base all-in was heavily delayed, and even though he went for the Hail Mary play of going for the disruptors, like, it almost worked. It legit almost worked in favor of HiGhDrA. He had some juicy connections, mate. Some very juicy connections. Oh, let's go. See the chat, valiant effort. Yeah, I mean, really well done. Like, a shout out to HiGhDrA for making it close, mate. Making it close in the end. Of course, we still have this one remaining game here between our players. In the end, of course, we're looking to see if HiGhDrA can redeem himself. Because clearly, I do think, even though Strange is the favorite player, like, it was really impressive to see HiGhDrA make Strange sweat quite a lot in that last game. Here we go. Probe is coming in for a scout. We just see a 2-gate opener out of HiGhDrA from Strange. Likewise, a 2-gate opener. Really odd here. Strange, he opts not to have his gateways as a part of the wall. Interesting choice. As he scouts his opponent and he confirms that a pylon is missing. So, in the back of Strange's mind, oh my god. Okay, what's happening? So Strange, he knows that a pylon's missing, it's out on the map. He goes for a proxy pylon in the main base of HiGhDrA, but it does get spotted, is going to be cancelled. Strange, trying to be a little bit cheeky, trying to have some fun, is going to be denied that fun though, as he does cancel that pylon. Meanwhile, we can see that HiGhDrA is going for a fake proxy pylon. It's still here towards the north, out on the map. And he's just going for a double Stalker opener into 2 additional Stalkers. Back at home, Strange going for off of 1 base, taking up into a Twilight Council. And we'll see if Strange decides to expand or if he decides to proxy out on the map. It may be Strange's turn to meme it up and, you know, go for hyper aggression. HiGhDRA's expanding. Strange also is expanding. Okay. We do have the expansion on the way. Behind this, we do see Strange. Even though he's at a Stalker deficit, he's able to hold on for the time being. He does have the defender's advantage, and with the hallucination, he will confirm as well that his opponent is expanding, and then they're not going for a 1-base all-in, which is important to take note of because HiGhDrA did 1-base all-in in the previous game. As Strange with his reinforcements is going to be able to force HiGhDrA back. Did take a little bit of damage to his base, but nothing too major. Like, it's going to be able to get up and running regardless, as HiGhDRA is going to be reinforcing, setting some adepts across the map. Their goal here is to try to bypass these units. Because Strange doesn't have his gateways as a part of the wall, that means that he cannot wall off, and that means that these adepts will make it into the main. Again, 2 adepts do one-shot probes, so there is a lot of potential for economic damage, as Strange is going for a proxy pylon. There we go. Hallucinated Scout does come in, does confirm the Robo, does confirm the Twilight Council, Blink on the way. Strange, if he wanted to, he could try to squeeze out a proxy Dark Shrine, but we'll see. We'll keep our eyes on him. Keep our eyes on that hidden pylon on the bottom part of the map. 1 adept will go down. Does get 1 probe for his troubles, but only 1 probe in the end. And yeah, Strange is able to get his natural base up and running. Likewise, so is HiGhDrA. Strange does have Blink over his opponent. HiGhDRA's Blink is a little bit delayed. Is going to be delayed here instead. So even though there's a window where Strange has Blink over his opponent, doesn't look like he's going to be hitting that window anytime soon. He's working on a later timing. We have +1 on the way. Robotics Facility as well with that Immortal. And Strange, yeah, he's just taking this slow and steady. Don't blame him. After a chaotic game 1, I don't blame him at all for just calming things down and just, whew, chilling out here. Taking it slow and steady. Just catching his breath. Yeah. As HiGhDrA is the first player to expand, and this will be spotted by his opponent. Strange comes in with Hallucination. He does get eyes on the third base, as well as the shield batteries. Now Strange has to make a choice. He has 2 more gateways on the way. He could go for a big 2-base all-in, or he could expand as well, and just have a later third compared to his opponent. Oh, he's doubling down. He's doubling down. Let's go, Poppy. Let's go. We're going up to 6 gateways here on 2 bases, as opposed to HiGhDrA, who is going for his own gateway explosion as well. He's going to be able to keep up with the production. Now, even though HiGhDrA is keeping up with the production, Strange will have +1 ahead of his opponent, and will also have an immortal advantage. HiGhDrA has 0 immortals right now. He's making his first one. To be fair, his first one is on the way. But is that going to be enough, as Strange is waiting for his Prism before he moves out? Again, looking to hit a timing with +1. Strange does have the overall army supply lead. Here we go. He is moving out. Production is pretty comparable between our 2 players. Do you even have some Stalkers being warped in across the map as well? This probe does spot some of these units. And there we go. He's going to confirm the army here of Strange. 2 Stalkers go down already. Pretty big pickoff. And here we go. HiGhDrA is getting in position. No shield batteries at the... Okay. There's 1 shield battery at the natural, but far back. And Strange, he goes straight for the natural base. Out positioning his opponent. That shield battery is not really going to influence, or not really going to come into play at all. And the Nexus goes down. Here we go, HiGhDrA trying to collapse on the summon, but the force fields are looking good. The sentries and the immortals there are not taking part of the fight. Strange, yeah, looking to take a dominant fight here at the natural base. We do try to focus down the Prism, but there are not enough Stalkers. HiGhDrA does not have enough. He takes down the Prism in the end, but the rest of Strange's army is snowballing out of control. Yeah, the immortal is going to get targeted down. The Stalkers fell earlier. Boys had to be pulled. And the Adepts are going ham at the third base. 22 drones go down. Sorry, 22 probes. And Strange is looking to clean this up. GG gets called. And Strange takes down HiGhDrA 2-0. GG. Just solidifying the win here for his team, for Mystery Gaming. GG, well played. Again, it was difficult to go up against Mystery Gaming. Both Mystery Gaming as well as Afrika Freaks. Sorry, Kwangdong Freaks. They're no longer Afrika Freaks. As well as Kwangdong Freaks, they were the favored teams in their respective matches. And yeah, Team Rotti did have a hard time keeping up in the end. As Special was the only player to take a game for Team Rotti. HiGhDrA got close, to be fair. HiGhDrA got very close in his own game 1 against Strange, but close is not enough. To bring it back in the end. So, GG, well played. Congratulations to Mystery Gaming. Meanwhile, when it comes to some of these other matches, it looks like there is 1 series remaining. Twisted Minds versus Little Fairies. They're actually in the ace match. Oh my god. Let's go. They went all the way to the final game. But it does look like we will not be able to be a part of that series. To catch you guys up, let's all have a look here. Let us all have a look together. It's not what I wanted. There we go. There we go. Alright. So, up first, the upper qualifying match, which we casted at the start of the night, was Team StarCraft versus Kwangdong Freaks. It was pretty close, as you can see. 1-1s, but TY did end up coming through for the Freaks, and he did 2-0 Ashbringer, so Afrika Freaks were the first team to qualify. Scrolling down, Matcherino Esports versus Code 8 Travelers. This series did already conclude. We don't have any updates though. I believe the score has been reported to the WTL admins, but they haven't been revealed yet, so I'm pretty sure this is already finished. We don't know what happened. Matcherino Esports, they were the favorite team. I'm sure they made it through. In what score? I don't know. But this has concluded. This has concluded. Scrolling down a little bit further. Team Rotti versus Mystery Gaming. We just covered this series, and of course, Mystery Gaming did make it through. And scrolling down a little bit further, over on the Chinese stream, Twisted Minds is going up against Little Fairy. I believe it's being casted by some of the other language casters as well. And as you can see, Coffee 2-0'd Aristary, Young Yakov and Forjumi. Oh, they went 1-1. Classic 2-0'd Akil. And then they're currently in the ace match in the final game, Classic versus Coffee. And Classic is the favorite player, but it's a best of one. It is a best of one, so it could go either way. And Coffee has a chance. Not the best chance, but a chance nonetheless. Coffee, he's a really cheeky player. Very unique, very unorthodox at times. So he could cause an upset. He could cause an upset. Oof. Meanwhile, if you're a fan of any of these teams that lost, like Team Rotti or, you know, either Twisted Minds or Little Fairy or Team StarCraft as well, they have another chance. These were qualifying matches, yes, but if we scroll down a little bit further, down here, these are tomorrow's matches. The lower bracket. There are 2 spots left to qualify. This is brutal. Team StarCom versus Team Rotti. That's such a shame. I want them both to make it through. I want them both to do well. Team Rotti and Team StarCom. I love them both. Only one will make it into Code A. Oof, that's brutal. I favor Team StarCom in that. I'll be honest. I do favor Team StarCom a little bit more, but we'll see. Another big thing, someone was mentioning it earlier. Someone was mentioning Uthermal. Is Uthermal available tomorrow? Uthermal is a part of Team Rotti, and Uthermal, I do think that is a pretty big part of their team. He's a pretty core member, and what I mean by that is, like, he's one of the best on Team Rotti, and if Team Rotti want a chance at bringing down Team StarCom, they're going to need both Special and Uthermal as well. I do think Uthermal is going to be necessary for them to make it through. Otherwise, it's going to be very close. It's going to be very close for them. Other members that they have is Fiant. They have Fiant. They have HiGhDrA. They have CuKu. Not too sure with the rest of their roster. Let's scroll up here. Let's have a look. Where's Team Rotti? There it is. They have CuKu, Fiant, HiGhDrA, Special, Uthermal. Yeah, that is their roster. So I do think Uthermal is going to be a pretty maybe a little bit necessary for them to make their way through. So best of luck to Team Rotti against Team StarCom. Best of luck. Meanwhile, the lower qualifying match is going to be the loser of Matcherino Esports and Code A Traveler, as well as the loser of Twisted Minds and Little Fairy. So they're going to be facing off here in that lower qualifying match. And that's tomorrow. That is going to be tomorrow. So if you're interested, if you want to tune into the finale of the WTL qualifiers, if you want to find out who makes it into Code A, then be here in less than 24 hours. Just under 24 hours. We're going to be live on this channel with the finale of WTL. We'll be there. We will be there. So make sure you're there as well. Predictions. Oh yeah, true. Yeah, we should probably do that tomorrow. We'll have predictions up on the channel. Oh. Oh. And yeah, we are just catching up. We are just catching up. Regardless, GG, well played to all the players and teams that did compete tonight. And we are going to be going, or we're going to be heading off. We're done for today. We just casted 2 events. We casted Grand Platypus Open and the WTL qualifiers. Tomorrow, we also have 2 events. We have the Sparkling Tuna Cup, followed by the WTL qualifiers. So a lot of StarCraft is going to be going on tomorrow as well. The weekends are usually our busiest time. So if you are interested and if you want to support us, hold on. If you want to support us here on the CranKy Ducklings, you can see just under my mic, just under there, we do have a Patreon. We have a Patreon available where you can support us. You can help us out when it comes to our own tournaments. We do host events like Grand Platypus Open, the Sparkling Tuna Cup, which is tomorrow, and we also host events like the Tenacious Turtle Tussle as well. So we do our part for the StarCraft scene, and our Patreon is designed to kind of support us and specifically support those tournaments to help them grow, to fund them, and to boost them as well. So if you're interested, you can help us out on Patreon. Otherwise, you can subscribe. Otherwise, you can follow. Thank you. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Exclamation mark socials in the chat if you want to follow us on all those social medias: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Discord, Patreon, all that good stuff. If you want to follow us and be notified when we go live. Otherwise, you can follow me. You can follow me at light_VIP on Twitch and Twitter. I do stream throughout the week. I don't stream over the weekends because we're casting a lot over the weekends. So I'm going to be live like maybe on Monday or something. One of these other days. And yeah. With that, thank you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting. We'll be seeing you guys tomorrow for Sparkling Tuna Cup and WTL. Until then, hasta luego. We're going to be giving another streamer a raid. Not too sure who, but we're going to be raiding someone else. Give them a chance. Give them some love. Give them some support. We'll see you guys there. Until then, hasta luego. Bye. Hasta luego, papi. Hasta luego.